Now at 10 o'clock this Sunday night, we begin with a 12 News weather impact alert. Take a look at this. Monsoon activity blanketing the valley this Sunday night. This is a scene from North Phoenix where you can see Mother Nature putting on quite a lightning show with a lot of rain and wind in that area. This is the scene in Anthem tonight. They're also getting a light show from Mother Nature as well. A big thanks to 12 News weather watcher Linda for sharing this video with us. The 12 News weather tracker also on the roads live tonight. This is a picture of the scene unfolding along the 101 headed west. You can see the rain is blanketing the windshield there. The wipers getting a good workout this Sunday night as those storms continue to pop up across the valley. We're also tracking some power outages as well. In the last 5 minutes, APS is reporting 5,600 power outages across the valley. We know that our own Tram Mai is one of those caught in the dark this Sunday night. Meteorologist Ginger Jeffries here right now with where those storms are popping up and what you can expect overnight. Ginger.
Yeah, very aggressive weather moving through. I've been updating on our 12 News digital app for the last 3 hours, warning you that we've got this storm cell coming, the same storm cell that was able to trigger a tornado warning earlier today in Tucson. And now the deluge is overhead. There's several little cells moving on through. Thanks once again to one of our 12 News weather watchers in North Phoenix, Kevin Burns, just showing us the sheets of water that had been coming on down. And I bet you saw it on your phone too. You got that alert about the dust storm warning that is now in effect. Should be lifting in about the next 12 minutes for the Phoenix metro area. But as we zero in, I want to hone in on a couple cells. Understand, severe thunderstorm warning. That means heavy downpours, lightning, possible hail. Also, we've got one closing in, let's say, on North Scottsdale right now. So from the 17 to the 51 and the 101, look at this, lightning. Some of these cells have been able to produce up to 4 inches of rain every hour. Doesn't mean you're going to get 4 inches of rain. It just means that's the kind of capacity that we're seeing packed in these very powerful storms. You can see this one just south of Buckeye, severe thunderstorm warning till about 10:15. So I don't think we're going to be free and clear until after 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about strong storms, blowing dust. We were showing you that earlier with our ADOT cameras in the 7 o'clock hour, how there's a lot of dirt and debris outside, all because of the winds. Stay inside, reduce your speed, and folks, secure your outdoor items. Tonight, we're definitely seeing these storms rolling on through, but it's not our only opportunity this week. I've got details coming up my full forecast. Jonathan.
All right, Ginger, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. Tonight, calls for unity after an assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. The 45th president and presumptive Republican presidential nominee grazed by a bullet during a rally in Pennsylvania Saturday afternoon. A spectator killed, 2 others in the stands also hurt. Just hours ago, President Joe Biden addressing America from the Oval Office, calling on the country to lower the temperature in politics.
You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that.
Tonight, former President Donald Trump is in Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention, which kicks off tomorrow. Trump initially said he would delay his trip by 2 days, but changed his mind, saying he wouldn't let a potential assassin change his plans. Meanwhile, today, police identifying the man killed in that shooting as 50-year-old Corey Compentor. He was in the stands at the time at the rally with his family and were told that he shielded them as those shots were fired. 2 other men also hurt in the shooting are in stable condition. The suspected shooter has been identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. Tonight, as investigators continue searching for a motive behind the shooting, there's already disinformation being spread about him. Tonight, Ariane Daytil is here to separate fact from fiction.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
In the hours following the shooting at a Trump rally on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania, an incident the FBI is investigating as an assassination attempt of the former president, misinformation circulated about the identity of the shooter. So let's verify some key questions about the alleged suspect using these sources. First up, what do we know about the shooter? The FBI identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, a Pittsburgh suburb about 50 miles from the Trump rally. The Secret Service confirmed that its agents shot and killed the suspect. Federal campaign finance records show that when Crooks was 17, he donated $15 to Act Blue, a progressive political action committee. Pennsylvania voting records show Crooks is now a registered Republican. November would have been the first presidential election he was eligible to vote in. Has an official picture of Crooks been released? No. In the aftermath of the shooting, several photos claiming to be the suspected shooter went viral, but none of them are of Crooks. This photo being shown is actually Italian YouTuber Marco Violi. Other posts show images of comedian Sam Hyde. Photos of Hyde have appeared online since at least 2015 after various high-profile mass shootings across the country and have become a sort of meme associated with gun violence. Next, have officials confirmed what type of weapon was used? Yes, according to several news organizations, law enforcement recovered an AR-style rifle at the scene. 2 law enforcement officials also told the Associated Press that investigators believe the weapon Crooks used was bought by his father at least 6 months ago. Does Crooks have a criminal record? No. Public Pennsylvania court records show no past criminal cases against Crooks. If any juvenile records exist, they would be sealed. As always, be wary of potential misinformation in the wake of news events like this. Think about the source of the information you're hearing or seeing before sharing. The FBI says this is an ongoing investigation. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Ariane, thank you for that good advice. This is not the first attempted assassination or assassination of an American president. Here's a timeline for you tonight. 4 American presidents and 1 candidate have been killed, starting with President Abraham Lincoln in 1865. 16 years later, President James Garfield was shot and died weeks later. In 1901, President William McKinley was shot in Buffalo, New York. President John F. Kennedy was shot and killed in Dallas back in 1963. His brother Robert F. Kennedy was also shot and killed while campaigning for president in 1968. Tonight, as that investigation continues to learn more about the security lapses that took place at that rally in Pennsylvania, the question that so many want to know is exactly how did it all happen? 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra getting answers tonight from a man who has a long history of securing events for political candidates.
Decades worth of plans outline every move of presidents past.
This manual right here is the one that we used for Ronald Reagan and Bush, and that is everything associated with doing an event.
As presidential advance, Frank Thorwald planned travel, rallies, all kinds of events outside the White House down to the minute.
In an ideal world, you'd have a bubble and nobody would be out of that bubble and you could protect somebody. But it's not an ideal world for those kinds of things.
And with every move, he says the White House also prepared for the worst.
The word was, if something happens, it's on you. If the president gets killed, it's on you. So you always were very, very cautious in what you do and how you do it.
That happened on Saturday when a gunman shot former President Donald Trump from a rooftop roughly 148 yards away.
Somebody messed up. And I say that because Secret Service is extremely good. They're one of the best, if not the very best, security service in the world.
Thorwald says long-distance threats are the hardest to protect from, but typically Secret Service will identify every location that has potential for a shooter.
How the person got up in the building, they shouldn't have gotten up on the building.
Thorwald says the Secret Service's response after the shooting likely went according to plan, starting with Mr. Trump ducking behind the podium.
It's designed so you can literally throw the principal down behind that to protect them from bullets.
And again, when a Secret Service agent raised his hand over Trump's head to prevent line of sight.
If a bullet's going to hit the arm, his arm, it's going to protect Trump from getting shot again.
All of these details, Thorwald says, will be an opportunity to learn from, especially as the presumptive Republican nominee heads to an even larger stage at the Republican National Convention this week.
What they're going to do, are doing right now, is going through all of their security, trying to figure out, did we do something wrong? What do we miss? What can we do better the next time?
In Phoenix, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
Gabby, thank you. Only on 12 News tonight, former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio reacting to the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. We got a chance to catch up with Arpaio earlier today at Phoenix Sky Harbor before he boarded a plane headed for Milwaukee for the RNC. He said he's sending his condolences to the victims involved and says he does believe the Secret Service did a good job rushing to protect the former president, but says he would still like to see a full federal investigation of how this happened.
I have a few questions, but I'm not going to second guess the law enforcement. Let them look at it. The only thing I ask, be honest, no cover-ups. If there's a mistake made, do something about it.
Arpaio says he looks forward to seeing the former president as a guest of the Trump campaign in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention. The RNC does begin tomorrow, but before then, NBC's Lester Holt will sit down with President Joe Biden in his first interview since Saturday's rally in Pennsylvania. You can see that entire interview tomorrow night right here on 12 News at 6. You can also